With a 16-point lead, Corey West has championship point number 1 here at the penultimate race of the 2025 Super Hooligan season. And Rog, when you look at what we've been able to see from Corey over the course of this weekend, second row, it's going to be tricky for him to be able to come away with the championship after this opening race.
Yeah, and the guy that he's fighting's with right there in front of him, so I think it's going to be hard. Unless Jake makes a mistake, this thing's going to go down to tomorrow.
16 points is the difference. Jake Lewis, obviously, with those injuries from Laguna, it's been a tricky run for him in recent weeks. But James Raspoli's been the form rider in the class over the last couple of rounds. 2 second place finishes at the Ridge, and then 2 wins the last time out as well at Laguna Seca. And this is what we saw last time out in Monterey.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy for James either. The second race at Laguna, you see Cody Wyman gets in the back of him there, and James has to go off track almost and is able to recover and falls down barely inside the top 10. From there, Corey West was out front. Knew it was a big weekend for him to be able to capitalize some points. Hayden Schultz there running second, Travis Wyman third, Andy DeBrino also. See Hayden Schultz try to make the move up into the corkscrew, just wasn't close enough. But you see Raspoli was just chasing these guys down, picking them off one at a time. Each lap works his way past Hayden Schultz down into turn 2. Great pass, able to get it stopped. Fights back, turn 5, but look at Corey West. Great job, going to turn up under, get the run up into turn 6. There it has, James has to give the spot back up. The last lap, last corner, James Raspoli makes the move, last corner, great block pass, able to get in there, get the bike stopped, turned around, and able to get the win over Corey West and Hayden Schultz, who we don't see here this weekend, a new dad as well, just came on Thursday, so that's why we haven't seen Hayden Schultz out there.
He's had time to get himself here. That's a bit of a shame. But for the Super Hooligans class, obviously I've mentioned that 16 points the difference to Jake Lewis for our championship leader Corey West. But James Raspoli very much in play as well, 22 points down, the form rider in the class. And Roland Sands also joining us as ever in the commentary box. You'd have to look at James from that pole position. He's definitely going to have his opportunity in this one.
Yeah, James has got the momentum coming into the weekend, coming off those 2 race wins at Laguna Seca. And he looks good out there this weekend. He's got pole position, but he's got a lot of work to do. He's going to have to win both races, and somebody's going to have to make a mistake for him to win this championship. But as we know, as we've all seen, anything can happen, and it probably will.
Yeah, he's fresh off the King of the Baggers race as well, and Rog, given that he's had that bit of track experience, knows about the track conditions given the problems that we had earlier on in the Superbike race.
He's definitely going to know how the oil dry is down in turn 6, and not only the bagger this weekend, he's been fast on it as well, not just the Super Hooligan bike.
With 48 riders trying to qualify for this weekend's action, 33 will take the field, and James Raspoli, Dominic Doyle and Jake Lewis will be our front row starters when we get underway for 7 laps of action. You can see Corey Alexander there on the second row of the grid, and strong performance from him on the Arch bike. But we're just getting ready for 7 laps of action here in the Super Hooligans class.
Mission Super Hooligan National Championship coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. Roland Sands Designed, built for the ride. Go to RolandSands.com. By Harley Davidson and the championship-winning Pan America. And by Permco, a leading manufacturer of high-pressure hydraulic gear, vane pumps and motors, flow dividers, intensifiers, and accessories.
The riders making their way around for the opening race of the weekend in the Mission Super Hooligan class. 2.4 miles around this Mid-Ohio track, Rog.
Yeah, and it's really fast on these Super Hooligan bikes. That chicane up there to turn 4 is really quick. From there, just that long straightaway down into turn 6. What's a couple corners we can look for in this race? Passing zones, Roland.
I mean, coming out the back straightaway, coming into turn 6, one of my all-time favorite spots to pass. Turn 4.
Yep.
You know, getting into turn 4 out of turn 3 is a great spot as well. Love this track, the new asphalt, a little bit different than when we rode it back in the day, Roger.
90 points in the last 4 races for James Raspoli. He's going to start on pole from the impressive Dominic Doyle on his Yamaha, and Jake Lewis up there as well. We've got 4 Hardys up there on the front 2 rows of the grid, but really impressive performance from Dominic Doyle, Roland.
Yeah, Cody Wyman, Jason Waters, Andy DeBrino in row 3. And we got Andrew White, Travis Carr, Zachary Beaven.
Nice to see the changes here this weekend as well. We've got 2 Arch bikes on the grid. We've got 2 Triumphs up there as well, with Jason Waters on the 3rd row of the grid as well. So plenty of variety here in the Mission Super Hooligans class. And Raj, just before we get underway for 7 laps of action, the opening lap, turn 1 down in towards the chicane, obviously key overtaking opportunity for the front runners.
Yeah, and with the pace Rispoli's had this weekend, these guys need to get a good start and not let him check out early on.
Someone to keep an eye on is Jeremy McWilliams returning back to the class on the Arch. We have a brand new Arch this weekend as well, a bike they've developed and been continuing to develop, and see what Jeremy's going to do. I think he'll move up from his 11th position qualifying.
Yeah, good effort from Jeremy on the 4th row of the grid. On pole position is James Rispoli on the 43. The 25 of Dominic Doyle. Jake Lewis on the number 85 on the outside of the front row, and Jake Lewis makes a good start. And heading down in towards turn 1, we'll see if Lewis has been able to pick off his championship rival Corey West. He gets down the inside for that, but James Rispoli able to hold on for that pole position and convert it into a lap 1 lead as we head down towards turn 2. And it looks like it's still Rispoli out in front, but great start there from Corey Alexander as well, Rod.
Yeah, Corey's already moved his way into 3rd. Great start from the 2nd row.
Dominic Doyle just took it in the pants on that start, man. I don't know if that Yamaha just didn't get off the line like the Big V twins.
You can see there for Doyle, looks like dropping down into 5th spot for Corey Alexander with the run around the outside down towards turn 6. We'll see if he's able to move past Jake Lewis as we come back to it. He's got that inside line into 6, and this is where we've got that oil spill down. We've got a couple of bikes down as well though, and the 814 and the 72, and we'll see how Jeff Lane is the rider we can see sitting down, and we'll wait for the 814 as well. But the leaders making their way around, still Rispoli out in front, but Corey Alexander in this opening lap doing a great job, Roland.
The Arch is making its first showing into the top 3 at Mid-Ohio Race 1. Corey Alexander, they've been working so hard on this bike, and to see a brand new bike first time on the racetrack with new parts and all kinds of things, and he's running 2nd place, but we've got a red flag.
Yeah, not a big surprise after that big incident that we saw down there, and hopefully for the riders involved there, okay, it was Travis Kerr was the other rider down in that one. And Raj, obviously in a 7-lap race, easy to have incidents here on the opening lap. Everyone's trying to make up their positions as quickly as they can, but that opening lap, Corey Alexander has to go and do it all again. Yeah. Roland mentioned about Dominic Doyle. He gets the chance to make amends for that bad start. Obviously, nobody wants red flags, but after you've had that poor start, good chance for Dominic.
Yeah, Corey Alexander definitely did not want to see that red flag after the first lap he had, and now Dominic Doyle, if it was just a mistake off the start, now he gets another opportunity.
I'm going to get a chance just to see what happened here on that opening lap of the race, and just look in the middle of the shot and see what's happened through there.
Oh yeah, back of the pack. Yeah, man, they gathered each other there.
Yeah, it just looked like it was Travis that went down first, and unfortunately then nowhere to go for Jeff Lane, and at least we were able to see straight onto their feet. But for the riders involved, you can see there maybe just a little bit of wrist pain there for Lane, but Rod should be pretty quick to get it cleaned up and get us back running.
Both riders are off the track there, so I think they'll be able to get started. I didn't see any fluid on the track, so should be a pretty quick restart.
Yeah, and the riders back into pit lane. That's Dominic Doyle, we can see on the number 25 machine, and he'll get the chance to start from the middle of the front row again. We'll go back to the original grid positions for all the riders able to take part in it. Obviously, the 2 riders that we saw on the side of the track, they won't be able to take part in this one. But Michael Hill, we've got you down in pit lane as well, and a chance to catch up with as many of the riders as you can during this delay.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. And of course, as we said earlier, nobody wants a red flag. We just want to go racing. But safety first. I can see the marshals already out there doing their job and just getting the track cleaned up, and we'll be ready to go racing again pretty soon. It was a good start in that race, wasn't it, for Dominic Doyle, who's been pretty quick all weekend. We should just point out as well, before I do chat to Dominic, that there's a championship on the line this weekend. Mathematically, we could see the 2025 Super Hooligans champion, sponsored by Mission, decided today. If the advantage for Corey West is 25 points or more, he becomes back-to-back champion. So just bear that in mind when we do go racing. Not necessarily thinking about the championship, just thinking about getting this bike, this Yamaha, onto the podium is Dominic Doyle. Dominic, coming on the back of a really good weekend a couple of weekends ago at VIR, you've carried that momentum here, and obviously front row of the grid. How are you feeling, or how were you feeling in that first start?
Pretty good. The jump wasn't the greatest. I got dropped back a little bit, but I was in touch with the lead, so it's first lap. I was going to let things play out, but felt pretty good nonetheless. But looking forward to the restart and nail the start a little better and just click off laps and try and go with those guys and try and make some moves and get to the front.
Excellent stuff. We'll let you obviously get refocused. I want to try and see if we can get a quick word as well with Hunter Dunham. We've not had a chance to speak to him this weekend. Hunter, great to see you back out here, and just reminding us that you can still pedal a two-wheeler. You still got the speed.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it's good to be back out here in Mid-Ohio, racing this MT-09 Yamaha, man, fighting Charlie's bike. We got this thing kind of rough little Friday, but we're making time. You know, every session we go out, we get a little bit faster. Yeah, just look forward to it. We got a good start, so hopefully get another good start and kind of go with the pack in the front and try to chase down my teammate here.
Excellent stuff. Good luck for this one then, Hunter. We've still got a little bit of time. There's about 4.5 minutes or so until the track opens. I want to try, if we can, and just get down here to have a look at the Arch team. A very distinctive motorcycle. We've seen Corey Alexander riding the Soul machine under the number 23. But we've got two bikes this weekend, obviously fielded by the Arch team, one of them being ridden by the 99. That's a number, of course, if you've been following motorcycle racing for a few years, you'll be familiar with the number 99 of Jeremy McWilliams. And Jeremy McWilliams has been out on track already. Let's see if we can maybe get a word with Jeremy. He's just got his back to us down here. So, Jeremy, do you have a couple of seconds? We're just doing a live chat. I won't keep you too long, but what's it like riding on the Arch? It's great to see you back out here, by the way.
Yeah, beautiful, a lot of fun. You know, it's making us think, you know, trying to get it right in the window, but we're getting there. Progress has been good. It's obviously jumping in, but not having ridden it all year is a big ask. But I'll give it, you know, I'll give it all I can, and hopefully we'll get it further up the grid than we're starting from.
And what is the expectation then from today? Obviously, you've been brought in with your experience developing riders. We know how fast you are as a rider. Is that the plan, sort of development stuff, or when lights go out? I guess you're still racing, right? I mean, that's the plan.
Yeah, we learn every time we turn wheels. You know, we learn through free practice qualifying. Even morning warm-up, we'll learn something from it, but we'll learn a bit more from the race, you know, putting 7 laps together. Might be shortened for this restart, 5 laps actually. But yeah, everything counts towards, you know, trying to get the bike right in the window so we can fight with the Harleys and obviously now the Yamahas as well.
Excellent. We'll let you get focused. As Jeremy was just saying there, a 5-lap restart when we get going. And again, I think we've got a little bit of time possibly just to walk a little bit further up the pit lane here. A couple of minutes, I think, till we do go racing again. And the last race of the day, again, there's so many fans that have stuck around here. So a big thank you to all of the fans that have been here this weekend. I know, talking to Roger Hayden and Steve English when we came into the track as well. It is so good. In fact, you know what? We're not going to... Blake Davis, let's have a quick talk to Blake, if we can. I saw you looking there. You thought I didn't see you. I can see out the corner of my eye, mate. And you promised me an interview, so let's do the interview right now. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was kind of hoping you'd walk past me, but I'm having a great day out here. We struggled a little bit in qualifying, but picked it up some in the race. Hopefully get on the podium again tomorrow.
I suppose the saving grace for you is that we're not in a Texas roadhouse and I can't pretend it's your birthday again, so you're quite safe in the paddock. It's when I see you out for dinner, that's when you got to worry.
Yeah, always got to watch out for Mike on the mic. He's always there.
How are you feeling going into tomorrow's race?
Feeling really confident. We made a lot of good changes, and I'm just really excited to go into tomorrow with more confidence.
Excellent stuff. Well, since you don't want to talk to me, I thought we were friends. I'll leave you alone. So how nice is that? I thought we were friends. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. See you later, buddy. Let's get a quick word, if we can, with Peter Strack. Let's see if we can get a quick word with you. I know your rider's about to go back out. Nice to see you involved in this championship as well. We see you obviously with Blake and with Matthew in Super Sport, but turning your attention to the Hooligans.
Yeah, trying to support the class, and Hawk Mazzata is a good friend of ours, and so we're happy to be in it. Wish we were towards the front, but we're making strides with the bike, so hopefully, you know, this race will be in the top 10.
Excellent stuff. Thank you for talking to us again. So we're just going to move a little bit back towards the start and finish. As I said, this is going to be a quick start procedure, and what we mean by that is once the signal is given, the riders will move out onto the circuit. They'll go around the track. It's 2.4 miles here at Mid-Ohio. They'll line up on the grid. One mechanic will be in place just to make sure that the riders line up where they are supposed to. Those mechanics will move out of the way, and then there'll be one warm-up lap, and then we will be going racing. So, Steve, I don't really think there's any more riders that I can talk to because riders are now putting on the helmets and we're getting ready to go racing again. But a little bit of an insight from the pit lane. Let's go racing.
Yeah, they've got more important things to do now, Mike. And Hawk Mazzata down there on the number 21 machine. Good to be able to see him there as well. But Roland, just quickly, but for what we've seen this weekend. We got 2 triumphs up there as well in the top 3 rows of the grid. Good performance from Jason Waters on his bike.
Yeah, Jason Waters, he had a strong performance at Daytona as well, and he's been showing progress all year, and now he is the top Triumph, besting Andy DeBrino in qualifying, so we'll see how he does in the main. The Triumph has speed and has a lot of potential, and just like the Yamaha showing its potential this weekend as well with Dominic.
And that's the great thing with this class, so much variety in terms of the machinery. Obviously, the easiest thing to be able to look at for the variety is the arch bike, but just all the different manufacturers all able to get such good performance out of so much variety, and that was the calling card for the Hooligans class whenever it started.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of was the building blocks of the class, was variety. And we've even got an Irving Vincent popping up on our Instagram feed, and they're talking about coming to Daytona. What a beautiful motorcycle that is. And we're talking about, I don't know what else we do next year. There could be some more things we do to make this class even crazier.
Rog, quick look at what we saw before the red flag.
Yeah, and just right off the chicane there, turn 3 and 4, they see 2 riders get together. Just a full grid. There was nowhere to go, but Rispoli was out front. Corey Alexander worked his way into second early on in this first lap. Jake Lewis there third, and then the red flag came out. Now we get to redo it.
5 laps of action about to get underway. The riders just making their way on their siding lap to the grid, and then they'll have their warm-up lap before we get underway. And Roland, you mentioned about Dominic Doyle's bad start in the initial staging. He gets the chance to try it all over again and give himself a chance to be able to stay in the front now. Yeah,
I mean, there's always winners and losers in a restart, and Dominic, I think, is the winner in this one. He's going to get an opportunity to, work on that clutch, work on letting that clutch out in a little different way and try and get that Yamaha started. Of course, I think when you're dealing with these Harleys and you're dealing with the Arch, you got bikes that start really well. They've got a bit more torque than probably the Yamaha does. So yeah, Dominic, I mean, he's got what it takes to run at the front at this point. He showed it in qualifying, so we see if he can do it all race long and if he can, build that up.
4 top 5 so far this season for Dominic, no podium, so chasing that first podium in the campaign on the number 25 machine, the Yamaha MT-09, and strong in the qualifying session, Rog, but once we get into the race, obviously 5 laps changes the dynamic ever so slightly as well. You want to be on those front rows of the grid. Corey Alexander, we saw make a great start in the initial stagings. He needs to do it all over again.
Yeah, and with the race being even shortened, these riders are gonna get going fast. They're gonna be aggressive those first couple laps. You're not gonna have time to let the race come to you.
Yeah, and obviously a 7-lap race initially was the plan for this one, and there wasn't too much patience on the initial stagings for it as well, but 5 laps of action will be underway in a couple of minutes time. And at the front of the field, James Rispoli on the number 43 machine, the form rider in the class, 2 wins last time out at Laguna and 2 second place finishes at the Ridge before that. Still in championship contention, and just to recap on the championship, the number 85 there, the long-time championship leader, the man that won 4 in a row mid-season before that crash at Laguna, Jake Lewis, will start from 3rd on the grid. He's 16 points behind Corey West, our reigning champion and championship leader as well. For Corey though, Rog, he needs to leave this race with 26 points in advantage. He's only got 2 wins so far this season compared to his rivals.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is just try to be in the top 5 and gather as much points as possible. It's just kind of see where Jake's at. If Jake's toward the front of the pack, and Rispoli is going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. But Corey did a great job. He got a good start there, the first start, and kind of right where he needs to be.
Yeah, I think if he's got his eyes on this championship, he's going to want to try and finish on the box in both these races at a minimum. He was slotted in the right. He was in 4th in that first race, right where he needed to be able to get into that 3rd position. I think he's going to, this first race, just be working to get the amount of points that he needs. But Corey, if the opportunity's there, he feels comfortable, he's going to take it.
Yeah, obviously he wants to just make sure he's got as many hands in his cards in his hand going into the final race of the season tomorrow. But 16 points is that advantage, and he comes into this one with 3 podiums in a row, including a win in the last lap battle against Rispoli at the Ridge. But James Rispoli from the pole on the number 43 machine, and we saw in that initial staging just how well he was able to get off the line as well. Roland, he'll be looking for the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Corey Alexander was the surprise starter for me in that one, and seeing Corey being able to get up there in 2nd place. I was talking to Gard for a while before this race, and he said, hey, I'd be happy if we can leave this place with a 5th position. It's been, I believe, their best finish, and now we got Corey up in the 2nd place in the first start. Yeah, I mean, seeing that air-cooled bike do the work, I mean, that's what the rules were built for, variety, and we're seeing that variety play out today with, HD Yamaha and Arch, right there in the first start, so.
And Rog, just before we get underway, we've already seen the action hotspots on lap 1 down into the chicane, but where else does everyone need to pay attention to?
Down in turn 6, where we've seen that oil dry, there's going to be riders wanting to make moves down in there, but got to make sure the track's not too slick.
Take 2 about to get underway here for championship point number 1 in the Mission Super Hooligans class, and James Rispoli will start from pole position on the 43. Dominic Doyle was slow off the line in the initial stagings. He'll try and improve on that in the number 25 bike from the middle of the front row, and Jake Lewis on the outside of the front row. The red lights are on and we're getting ready for 5 laps of action here. Better start from the middle of the front row from Dominic Doyle, but it looked like a really good start from Jake Lewis. He gets the whole shot, and Corey West moves up into second position as well. Bad start off the line from our pole sitter James Rispoli, but we'll see what he's able to do to answer back from 4th position, as Corey Alexander not quite able to make as good of a start this lap, loses a spot to drop down into 7th position there, but Dominic Doyle, lap 1, able to get through on Corey West and move into 2nd spot, Rog.
This restart really hurt Corey Alexander. Last time he was 2nd. You can see he's barely inside the top 10 there, around 8th, so definitely not the restart that he wanted, but Jake Lewis out front.
James Rispoli got himself into 3rd position and now under attack from Corey West on the number 1 bike down in towards turn 6. West is able to get himself back up into 3rd position, but had to run over that little bit of the slick and lost a bit of momentum through there. Rod, we've seen it in the other classes so far, the riders having to pick their poison through that corner.
Yeah, some riders going under, a couple others going around it, so you just got to figure out which one's going to be the best. As you see Corey Alexander there trying to get racy.
Yeah, it looks like they made contact coming through there. What a pass Corey Alexander made. He's not scared to jam it in there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, good move from Corey, and the arch bike working really well. Roland, it's been as close to the front of the field as we've seen them this
he's
weekend.
Showing that confidence. When you're able to make moves like that, you are getting used to the bike and you're ready to do what it takes to get up to the podium. But we're seeing the tale of 2 starts here, man. What a difference between that first start to the second start.
Lap 1 of 5 is in the books, and at the front of the field it's Jake Lewis in the number 85 machine, and James Rispoli moves up into P2 as well, our pole sitter on the 43 bike, and the man that sits 3rd in the championship standings, 22 points down on Corey West, still very much in title contention. James Rispoli, Roger's been the fastest rider here all the way through the weekend. He's going to put the pressure on Jake Lewis.
Yeah, and he's going to put the pressure on him really quick. It's going to be interesting to see how close he gets in this draft. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to make the move this time in turn 6, but we've seen Rispoli make some good passes.
And you can see here for Corey Alexander, gets the run on the 34 bike of Cody Wyman as well, Roland.
I tell you who's not in a position they want to be, Corey West right now. He has moved his way to the back of that pack as we see Corey Alexander moving up and moving away. James Rispoli doing everything he needs to do right now to keep himself in contention tomorrow, but Corey West is going to have to do some work, and he's
looking down. He's looking down at his shifter.
Another mistake. He went wide there in turn 7, and now he was looking down.
And for Corey West, this is important points that can be lost. Obviously, Jake Lewis at the front of the field on course for 25 points. Rispoli putting him under pressure as well. And West
he's got a
looking
problem.
down again, and it's going to be a long 5 laps. He needs to try and hold on, Rog, to any points possible.
Try to stay inside the top 15 and get as many points as possible, or maybe if another red flag comes out, team be able to fix it.
Andy DeBrino on the 62 bike just about to come through. The second triumph of Waters as well, in a position to attack now as lap 3 starts, and Corey West again looking down, and West with big problems at this stage, and even looked into turn 1 there. Rog wasn't even trying to backshift it.
Looks like maybe a shifting, Rowan. What do you think? He's kind of looking down.
It's strange when you're looking down. I mean, you can't really see much when you're trying to look down at the bike to see what's wrong with it. I don't know if he had like a fluid problem or something, but it looks like he's holding up DeBrino and Waters at this point. They want to get by him and try and get close to that group, but that ain't going to happen.
Still in 7th position right now for Corey West, but you're looking at the back of this group is Jeremy McWilliams in 11th position. We move back to the front of the field. Jake Lewis, long-time championship leader, leading this race from the start, but under pressure here from Rispoli. Rispoli 3rd in the championship, 22 points down, our championship leader, and looks like he's ready to take the race lead here as well, Roger.
Yeah, he's just trying to put himself in the right spot. It's going to be interesting to see if he's able to duck up the inside here. We've seen this move early on, so he looks at it, just wasn't close enough enough, and Jake Lewis does a great job closing off that inside.
They've got a big lead at this stage over the 25 of Dominic Doyle, Roland, so they don't need to rush it. If you're James Rispoli, you can afford to be a little bit patient. 2 laps to go when you come across the line, and a gap of a second and a half back to the 25 bike. So for Rispoli, doesn't need to rush anything right now.
Yeah, I think he's in the right position. That he's exactly where he wants to be. I'd prefer to be in the position James is in at this point. See what Jake's capable of. He's right on his rear tire, but it looks like he's going to try to get past going into 1.
It's where he made the move on lap 2 as well, and just carries that speed into turn 1. And nice, comfortable move there from him, Raj.
Yeah, great pass. Set that up the run out of the last corner. Able to make that pass. Now we'll see what Jake Lewis can do if he's going to be able to strike back.
And the big thing for Jake Lewis, Roland, after the crash at Laguna, he spoke about how difficult it was at VIR for him to ride. He's riding hurt, and he's in a position still to claim a lot of important championship points.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, unfortunate for him to not be able to participate in those 2 races. Just so even be in a position to still win this championship after missing those 2 races. I mean, yeah, he's such an impressive rider, and we all know what it feels like to hit our head and come back, and it's not an easy thing to do. Mad respect for Jake Lewis.
Speaks of what he did mid-season with those 4 wins in a row on the number 85 bike, and it's still in a position here to keep the pressure on Rispoli, and the gap back to Dominic Doyle, 1.8 seconds now. Doyle had a new personal best last time around. He's opened up a decent lead over Corey Alexander as well. Dominic chasing his first podium of the season, and Corey Alexander on course for his best result of the campaign as well. And a little bit further down, Corey West still holding on to that 7th spot when they started this lap, and we'll keep an eye on what the championship leader is doing as the lap progresses. But just coming into the penultimate corner now, the 2 race leaders, James Rispoli and the 85 of Jake Lewis, start their final lap. Dominic Doyle in a lonely 3rd spot right now, but he'll be happy for that on his Yamaha. Corey Alexander we saw just come across the line as well, and Corey West still holding on to that 7th spot and those all-important championship points. Good battling performance there from the championship leader.
Yeah, and Jake Lewis is in a tough spot right now. He wants to win and try to get that extra 5 points, but where Corey West running in 7th, Jake's still in a good spot.
As it would be 11 points picked up from Jake Lewis, only 5 points between himself and Corey West. Rispoli the big winner in this, as we can see now, as he opens up a little bit of a margin, takes that narrow line down in towards the oil slick at turn 6, and he's got a little bit of margin now, but for Rispoli, trying to make it 3 in a row and 5 races in a row on the podium as well. He's found his form at the right time, Roland.
I mean, this is anybody's championship at this point. James showing the momentum. I mean, with only, if they finish as they finish right now with only, what was that, a 7-point spread, 8-point spread, we're gonna be set up for a hell of a race tomorrow and settling this championship on a Sunday here at Mid-Ohio.
It's interesting as well because for Corey West, championship leader coming into this one, he only won 2 races. Rispoli on course to make it 3 in a row for his 3 wins of the season, and then for Jake Lewis, 4 wins through the season. They've been all very closely matched in terms of the stats, but it's been where they've been dominant at different times through the season. And Rispoli comes through the last corner, started from pole, and he was able to come through to take those 25 points ahead of Jake Lewis. An impressive performance from him, and the first podium of the season for Dominic Doyle. Corey Alexander with a good ride to come across the line in 4th, and Corey West ended up in 7th spot and still able to claim those 9 points. Roland, we've got 6 points between the top 3 riders heading into the last race of the season.
Man, this is how we want a championship to shake out. Last race of the season. We got these 3 Pan Americas, and they're going to be battling tomorrow. It's kind of like whoever's going for the win tomorrow, that's who's going to potentially win this championship, you know?
And it's going to be interesting as well because we got a few wild cards in the mix. The likes of Dominic Doyle claiming his first podium of the season, and Corey Alexander inside the top 5 as well. We'll wait and see what they can do in tomorrow's race, but James Rispoli, our race 1 winner.
Mission Super Hooligan National Championship coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. Roland Sands Designed, built for the ride. Go to RolandSands.com. By Harley-Davidson and the championship-winning Pan America. And by Permco, a leading manufacturer of high-pressure hydraulic gear, vane pumps and motors, flow dividers, intensifiers, and accessories.
James Rispoli able to claim 3 wins in a row, and Raj, he's put himself firmly in title contention now, 6 points back.
Yeah, he's in the fight tomorrow, and it looks like the way he's been riding this weekend, he's going to be the guy to beat.
Yeah, and for Rispoli. 3 in a row and 6 points is the difference, but this shortened race to 5 laps ended up where they were able to break away a little bit. But Jake Lewis, very impressive performance considering the recovery from his injuries from Monterey to claim those 20 points in second. Dominic Doyle, first podium of the season, and Doyle's put in some good performances in Hooligans and also in the Twins Cup class this season, but great to see him rewarded with that podium.
It's great to see Corey Alexander in the arch bike as well there, 4th with Travis Wyman, Cody Wyman, and championship leader, 7th place.
7th place picks up 9 points for our championship leader, Corey West, and he's still our championship leader. When he had those technical problems in the middle of that race, could have been forgiven for thinking that he was going to give up a lot of points, but battled hard to be able to claim that 7th place finish. 5 points back is Jake Lewis, but Jake has more race wins, so he will win a count back if it comes down to level play at the end of this season. And for James Rispoli, though, 6 points back, and Rispoli is very much in form, because on his count back, he obviously has 3 wins now, could make it 4 tomorrow. He's got those second place finishes as well, so he's in a position, if it comes down to it, where he could win on a count back as well. So Rispoli has the form on the 43, Rog. He wouldn't fancy putting money down on who's going to come out on top tomorrow.
He's going to be tough to beat tomorrow, for sure. Jake Lewis, good ride for him, coming back hurt. That has to be a little bit of a confidence booster for him, and see if he can improve.
Yeah, obviously for Jake, really impressive to come away from that, but his start was really good. He was able to get the whole shot from the outside of the front row, made a great start into turn 1, led those first couple of laps before Rispoli came back at him. But when you look at what Jake's been able to do, he focused on the Hooligans class for this weekend. He's withdrawn from his other classes to make sure he's in a position to be able to give it everything he has here in this class, and it's worked out from race 1.
Yeah, Jake knows what he has to do, get a good start, try to put himself in that good spot, and he was able to do that early on. James just had a little bit more time in his back pocket, and for Jake riding injured, he did a great job.
And we saw Dominic Doyle down there as well, and we said that everybody wants to make sure that we don't have red flags. Dominic would be pretty pleased for that there was that red flag and a chance to do over on the run down in towards turn 1, and we can see James Rispoli down there in the podium area, and Michael Hill's down there with him.
Yeah, I am indeed, and James Rispoli whooping, getting the congratulations down here from the team. Carl Wyman comes in, and yeah, I don't think we need to even hear what you're saying there. We can lip read. You are super excited. Now only 6 points behind in the championship. It is a 1-race shootout for the title tomorrow. How are you feeling?
Man, I am pumped, man. Like, shit, like that first start, like I was like, I don't even know what to say, man. I got a great start, and then we had the red flag, and I got the worst side of my life, and I rode so weird. The thing was all over the place, and I was like, just chill out, buddy. I made some great moves on the snake. I battled hard with the number 1. It's a shame that I got to battle another Harley guy that hard, but you know, it's a championship battle, so I know he's gonna show up tomorrow and fight for it. So I'm just so stoked. My guys work so hard. Kyle Wyman, KWR, all of our sponsors that back this. You know, doing back-to-back races in this heat isn't the easiest thing, but woo, I feel good, baby. Let's go. Tomorrow's the day.
Well, I couldn't have said that any better. The crowd loving it down here. That's what we want to see. The championship comes down to a final shootout, and James Rispoli is very much in contention, and so is this guy. A great ride from you. We know that you arrived here with that decision just to ride the Hooligans. It paid off 20 points. It all comes down to tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm pumped that it comes down to tomorrow, but honestly really bummed with that ride. I mean, James just has our number right now, and just frustrated and kind of a little bit disappointed. I mean, I just got my ass whooped straight up, and I don't like getting beat like that. But James is just riding so good. His bike's working so good. He's just able to hold it so much tighter in the turns and roll through the turns better than I am. So got to find some stuff tomorrow, and like you said, it all comes down to tomorrow. So got to keep my head up, and it's going to be a dicey race. You know, I don't know what the points are, but I think whoever wins between James, Corey, and I is now the champ. So we got to find something for James, you know. Like I said, he's got our number right now. But a big thank you to the whole Saddleman Race Development team for being behind me, because after that hit at Laguna, you know, just to my head and ribs and shoulder, I mean, it was lowest of lows. You know, I was 4 wins in a row and had a big points lead, and you know, it was depressing after that race and throwing away a big points lead. But I'm happy to be back here in front of all the Ohio fans, putting on a show. And thanks to my team, Matty, Ricky, Eric, everyone in my corner. Bell Helmets, 4-Star Leathers, Food Sport Boots, my mom, my fiance Blair, and just everyone here who supports me. We got a chance for tomorrow.
Yep, you absolutely do. Jake Lewis still very much in the mix. And let's move across then to Dominic Doyle, front row of the grid to a podium. And solid job, mate. Good job.
Yeah, I'm glad I got a second shot at it with the restart. The first start wasn't ideal, but I kind of got a better on the next one and just try to hang with those boys. They were ripping. Yeah, kind of saw I had a bit of a gap. Just try to close it out and do a fast lap at the end. And can't thank my whole GIAC Moto Yamaha Racing team, Ryan, Jason. They've done awesome this weekend. It's awesome to have Chuck at the track. Got to thank Liberty Street, Wet Speed, GIAC Moto Racing team, everyone that helps me get here.
Excellent, good job for Dominic Doyle, who concludes our podium here. We're going to ask the top 3 riders to move to the side. I'll conduct the podium, and I'll hand back to Steve and Roger.
And Rog, we were able to see a very calm, understated James Rispoli down there in the podium area after that one. He was able to really show what it meant to pick up this race victory for him.
Yeah, and this was the first start there. Rispoli getting a good start, as he mentioned, but accident there out of turn 3 before the keyhole. Just so many riders trying to get through that chicane on the first lap of the next restart. Jake Lewis with a really good start with Corey West, the 2 leading the championship was first and second. But Corey West having a little mistake there. You see James Rispoli able to get by. Dominic Doyle would be next on this list. You see Corey Alexander did not get as good a restart this time. But turn 1 was James's spot. This one lap he got Dominic, a couple laps later he was able to get Jake Lewis there on the brakes and able to hold on and get his 3rd win in a row.
Jake very honest down there about the challenge facing him, and he'll know that going into the last race of the season still very much it's in his hands, and that's what's going to make it interesting now for the final race of the year. Only 6 points between our top 3, and for James Rispoli, he's certainly going to think that it's all in his hands to be able to go out and make it 4 wins in a row. And you can see for our race winner down there, James Rispoli on the top step of the podium, and great performance from Jake Lewis and Dominic Doyle as our 3rd podium finisher and first podium in the season for Doyle on the Yamaha. Day 2's in the books here at Mid-Ohio, but we've still got final day of action to get underway tomorrow at 9:20 with the Motivation Supersport warm-up session here on MotoAmerica Live. Plus, Superbike's next on track, and then the King of the Baggers. And then our first race action will be at 12:30 for the Stock 1000 class, and then the Super Hooligans Championship decider at 1:20 before Supersport, Superbike, and then we'll finish off with the Mission King of the Baggers class at their 2nd race of the weekend. We've been able to have some great racing across the different classes here at Mid-Ohio all the way through this weekend. And certainly the final race of the weekend, the final race of the day that we saw there in the Mission Super Hooligans class sets up nicely for a championship decider tomorrow. We'll be back early in the morning at 9:20 on MotoAmerica Live Plus from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the conclusion of action here at round 7 of the 2025 MotoAmerica season.
Tomorrow we'll kick it off.